recording the March Madness show, and we're gonna get into Duke, North Carolina, because obviously everybody knows I hate Duke, and you love Duke because you're a big Duke fan. So we're gonna get into that because it is March Madness, and we're gonna talk about that bum that is Zion. I mean, that future dominant player that is Zion Williamson. So yeah, we're getting into that as well. Some NBA stuff. Could the fake number 2 be coming back to San Antonio? That's something we're gonna have to discuss on this all-new episode of the Rated R Sportscast. I am the Rated R Sports Star Rudy Campos Jr. I am joined as always by my best friend on podcasting, my best friend it's one of the Carolinas. I think it's North Carolina, or is it South Carolina?
It is North Carolina. South Carolina might be a little too. Well, I'm not going to say anything about South Carolina.
No.
But yeah.
I just wanted to hear the words North Carolina come out of a Dookie's mouth. So I am joined by the Ram ambassador himself, Giovanni, Mr. Gio. Are you doing okay, man? Have you had a tough week or something?
No, I mean Duke did beat North Carolina, so
Thanks for
I feel pretty good. And
but you won by 1 point, Gio. 1 fucking point.
Listen,
that was it.
It just proves that if Zion Williams was in those games, that Duke would take care of business. But he was out, so
no, it doesn't. It does not prove that at all.
It 100% proves that you guys won because we didn't have our best player. It's simple as that.
Well, last I checked, it's a team sport, and you had 3 of the top actually the top 3 recruits were McDonald Americans, and the top recruits in America all went to Duke. So how can one player make that much of a difference? And actually, he didn't make that much of a difference at all. He did not.
Of course, Rudy would be saying he didn't make a difference. Of course, Rudy would.
We had Roy Williams fucked up the end of the game. He didn't call the timeout like he should have. He had 2 timeouts. But not only that, there's no way Zion was made that much of a difference. They won the game by 1 point. If they win the game by 10, I would even say by 7, then I would say, okay. Duke's back, Zion made the difference. But
listen, I'm not saying that, North Carolina's chopped liver, or some sloppy Joe. They're a good basketball team, but I believe deep down where the sun doesn't shine, that Duke is a better basketball team than North Carolina.
Yeah, coming from the school that rapes women in lacrosse, that's a good comment.
You really gonna go there? You're really going to go there.
The only thing you have on Carolina is that we have dumb athletes and they can't take a test. That's it. We didn't go out and rape anybody or anything like that. So,
Rudy, wasn't that happen? Didn't we come clean on that? And there were actually no charges filed.
Yeah, because when you have money, you can buy whatever you want.
Speaking of that, you can buy a free ride to college, right, Rudy?
Oh yeah, that was a big thing outside of sports. We have Aunt Becky from Full House?
Yes,
deciding to pay for her daughter's way to get into a school, which pisses me off because I got offers to go into schools, but I never took them. But the one school I wanted to go to, the Stairway to Heaven, that is Chapel Hill, I could not get in there. So I wonder if I slipped, $500 or $1,000 if I was able to get into North Carolina. That would have been awesome. But yeah, that was some news, and that's almost. I mean, you're gonna go to jail for putting your daughter through fucking college.
Well, Rudy, I mean, to be honest, I think in the back of our mind we're not really surprised by this. I mean, we probably figured some of this was going kind of on. We probably didn't really talk about it much, but now that this comes to light, Rudy, I'm pretty sure other people have been doing this, Rudy. Beyond the 50 people in this dumbass case, there's probably a lot of other people, more than what we think, that are doing this. These rich kids are kind of getting a pass here. And the schools, Rudy, this ain't no damn community college. I mean, this is Yale, Harvard. This is some big-time schools.
Wasn't USC one of them? Yeah. It was
yep. And Georgetown. So the parents have to be penalized. Should the kid to be penalized? Listen, I understand if they don't. I understand if they do. They do exactly know what was happening.
But was it? I think I saw one of the stories was it was Aunt Becky's daughter found out that she got caught going into college because she was the one that was going to USC. She found out while she was on the president's boat the USC president's boat
Yeah,
or
the
something like
yacht.
that,
Yeah, the
or
yacht.
yacht. Yeah, wow. What a way to find out
Well,
when you're probably slurping the USC president's dong on
well,
his yacht. So
apparently, Rudy, his two daughters, one of them agreed to do it. The other one didn't. She didn't want to be a part of it. So
really,
the kids, they know what was going up. They knew what was going on, and unfortunately, they got caught. And this guy's been paid Rudy $25 million throughout the past 70 years. That's a
wow.
lot of money, man, just to get some dumbass
Yeah.
kids into colleges.
Yeah, wow. So we're saying is DJ Tanner got in, Stephanie Tanner didn't get in, and Michelle Tanner, both of them are just billionaires
Well,
before they
what
turned the age of 10.
what I also didn't like, their mugshot wasn't released.
Yeah, we need to really find those mugshots because I would love to see Aunt Becky's face plastered on our website and our Facebook page and Twitter
And
page as
listen,
well.
if
So
Jussie, if his freaking was all over the place, and also R. Kelly, aka Joe's favorite, had a ton of mugshots, we need to make sure these people had their mugshots plastered.
yeah, exactly. And who would you take? What was the best mugshot you think? And we'll get into sports in a second here, but you've got Jesse Smollett, R. Kelly, and Bill Cosby. Whose mugshot was the best? I mean, it was funny because if I remember, I like Bill Cosby's because he was giving us that
Yeah,
pudding pop face.
bro, I'm gonna
So
go with Bill Cosby, and
yeah,
that's probably my favorite one. And it kind of sucks for Bill because he just talked too much during that trial. He talked too much beforehand and got his ass in trouble. He just would have just shut up. But the problem was also, Rudy, there were so many people accusing him that they had to do something about this guy, so they put him in
yeah,
prison.
yeah. I'm just glad he got caught. I'm glad, it's kind of weird because when Bill Cosby got busted, everybody else started coming out, and you saw all these directors and everything
Well,
else
Rudy,
going
my
away
thing
and
is
all that stuff.
also, some of these guys, like the guy from that show on Netflix, I think his name was Kevin Spacey. He
Yeah,
got caught. I'm not sure if he went to trial. There's a lot of guys in Hollywood. For
wasn't
some reason, Rudy,
wasn't
Hollywood
Kevin
has been
Spacey
a
gay?
big. What do you
Was
say?
it
Sorry.
wasn't Kevin Spacey? It was a woman, but wasn't there a man that also accused him? Or am I? No,
Yeah.
I'm thinking of Dwight Howard, right?
That's another that's
Yeah,
another
Dwight Howard.
story for a different day. But yeah, a lot of people in Hollywood, Rudy, have molested children and have done all sorts of crazy shit. I mean, Elvis went out with a 14-year-old,
Yeah, Priscilla
and
Presley wasn't
yeah,
she?
and how can we forget about that one director in the '80s? And he dated his adopted daughter. And what's his name again?
Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, he's
Woody.
another one. So
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, it
unfortunately,
happened a lot. It did.
yeah. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, some of our minorities have been getting caught red-handed and kind of been pressing the press. But hey, you know what? It is what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, I know. And I heard a lot of stuff about this Leaving Netherland about Michael Jackson. I've yet to see it. I'm actually really scared to see this because I know Michael Jackson is a sorry son of a bitch. I know he is.
Well,
I just don't want to see this thing because it would probably piss me off. And as it is, I like a few
well,
Michael Jackson songs, so I don't want
I
to.
totally agree with you, Rudy. I haven't seen this one. I did see the other one that came out in like 20 and like probably like a good 5 7 years ago. Um, and listen, I mean, the FBI was watching him for a long time. Rudy, there's a lot of people who think he didn't do it. He did do it. Um, I'm going to say this. So some of the conversation he had in that prior interview, it makes me a little bit uncomfortable where he said he
Yeah.
likes to sleep with kids with milk and cookies. It just
Yeah.
it just doesn't look right, Michael. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, when you're a kid, the only thing with milk and cookies that needs to be combined with is Santa Claus.
Yeah,
That's
and
about it.
also money was involved too. And those earlier cases in the '90s, they got money from him several times. So, it's a big nasty thing, and unfortunately, it's really hurt his image.
Yeah, definitely has. And speaking of guys that didn't do it, I'm gonna get into a quick NBA talk here, and this is something that we're gonna talk because it is more NBA style now, and then we have March Madness, so we've got college ball. We'll get into, like I said, that loser Zion Williamson in a minute, but the NBA, I like to make people think when I talk sports and stuff. A lot of times I like to make people think. So
There we go.
last week was the last show. I made you think about what was I can't even remember now. I had so long of a day I
I
can't
think you
remember.
said about LeBron getting traded.
Oh yeah, LeBron being traded that came out obviously. Now this is something that I haven't seen anywhere, but it made me think about something here. Kawhi Leonard, and I mentioned his name because he is the fake number two, but I'm going to mention his name, Kawhi Leonard, right now. I told you last week, he is the best player in basketball right now, hands down. Giannis ain't nothing. James Harden ain't nothing. LeBron James sucks. Look, Kawhi Leonard is the best player in basketball, the best all around player in basketball. Now, he's been, rumored obviously to go to LA, and he's also been rumored to say he doesn't want to play with LeBron in LA like with the Lakers. So everybody's assuming that he goes back to the Clippers. Now, you also have Team USA coming up here pretty soon. Obviously, I think in the summer they all come together and they're going to have some kind of practices. Obviously, they probably would get together this summer, I believe. I don't know why, Gio, but if you're a free agent and you're a big time free agent, you expect what all 32 NBA teams to 32 NBA teams to give you a call. You're the top free agent of this class. You expect the Spurs to give him a call. The obviously thing is that it's probably like a 0.1% chance that he comes back. But if he looks at the roster that the Spurs currently have, isn't that one of the best fits for him overall to come back to San Antonio?
I think so. I mean, listen, at this point, I think the bridge is burnt. But if you are Spurs management, do you reach out to Kawhi Leonard as he becomes a free agent? Does the Spurs come in and say, you know what, let's put out some fillers out there and see if potentially uh, if he does want to come back to San Antonio? Because if he does want to come back to San Antonio, I think this is going to be probably one of the more remarkable off seasons, even more remarkable than last season where the Spurs ended up trading him. If I'm the Spurs, I take a look, but to bring him to San Antonio, bring him back, I think is going to take a big commitment from not just Kawhi Leonard, but also the entire team. Because what happened last year was really, really kind of an eye opener. This never happens in San Antonio. The Spurs are the model franchise in sports, and everything is done by the book. And last year was completely different. Kawhi Leonard didn't want to be in San Antonio. The Spurs trade him, and for him to come back to San Antonio, I think, uh, people are going to have a lot of mixed emotions. But like you said, Rudy, he's probably the second best, or the best all-around player in the NBA. If they add that to the mix with, the team that they have now, potentially, if the Golden State Warriors if they falter and Kevin Durant leaves, now there's an opportunity in the West to have a team that say, you know what, man, we get Kawhi Leonard in here, we can make a good run. But for the Spurs, I think it's going to take a lot for them to bring him back.
Well, yeah, I know. I'm not saying he's going to come back, but
Yeah.
this is what I've been looking at because I'm Mr. Conspiracy Theory on a lot of stuff, especially a lot of stuff in sports. You look at the season that the Spurs are having. You look at Coach Pop. Coach Pop is so nonchalant about uh everything that the Spurs have done this year. He hasn't had the same fire. He hasn't had a he just is a lot more calmer this year. If you look at it, last year, every other year before that, he's pissed off at least most of the season. He's fiery on the sidelines. If a person makes a mistake, he's on their ass. Last night just kind of threw me over the edge. Patty Mills, I can't remember. It was towards the end of the fourth quarter. Oh, he fouled one of the players, and Pop called him over, and you knew it was like, why the hell are you fouling this? Why are you fouling him? You don't need to foul. You're up by like 7 points, 8 points. No reason to foul. The game's almost over. Pop calls him over, talks to him. In past years, that's Pop berating a player guaranteed for that kind of fuck up. Now,
Rudy,
well, go ahead. Go ahead.
do you think he's maybe mellowed down just because of the team he has, and he knows that it's not a championship caliber team? That maybe he's like, you know what, maybe tone it down a bit just because this team is not a championship team, and I don't have to really push certain buttons throughout the year. Do you think that maybe has something to do with it?
Well, I'm gonna ask you the question back. What I'm a firm believer that this is not a championship team, but
No, no, yeah, no, yeah.
when have you ever seen Pop never when have you ever seen Pop think, okay, I don't have a chance to win? I've never seen that ever in the entire history he's been
Well,
coaching.
not that they don't have a chance to win, but you know, a team like Golden State that's so top heavy, and you know, for the Spurs to even beat the Warriors 4 times, I mean, it's going to take some extraordinary things to happen. I
Oh
think
no,
Pop
I get it.
also probably thinks, well, you know what? Maybe I am down towards the end of the line here in my career as a coach, and maybe it's time to maybe switch some things up. And that's what I'm heading towards. The fact that the team isn't necessarily a championship team. I mean, at one point, Rudy, we went what 1-7
Yeah.
on that rodeo road trip, and I think Pop maybe comes to close. We're not a very good team, and this is a team that I have, and let's try to win as many games as possibly can. And maybe if I need to change my attitude a bit, but like you said, Pop's never been that way. But as he's nearing the end of his career, maybe we might see a different Pop, man.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I don't know. I've always thought, okay, this season I've I've made the comment. I figured this is Pop's last year. It should be his last year. I'm one of the guys that have said that. I'm one of the guys that have believed that this should be Pop's last year. The game has passed him by. I've made those comments. I admit, maybe they were harsh at the beginning, but as I look at making those comments now, is it me thinking, did the game really just pass Pop by, or is it the fact that he has to change his coaching style and be more of a player's coach now, because of the attitudes and stuff that the NBA players currently have at this moment? I don't
Well,
know.
well, he was fortunate to have Duncan, Ginobili, Tony Parker, three cornerstone players that were never about me, me, me. It was always about the team. So, not having those three guys in that locker room anymore, the team has really changed. And, Aldridge is not the leader of Tim Duncan. You know what I mean? Like some of the guys, you know, are leaders to a certain extent, but those three guys in that locker room have helped Pop a lot. Now they don't have that there. And maybe Pop's like, you know what? Maybe I don't need to be a damn bitch every 5 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get that, but I think too. I like the fact that I don't know. It has a CIA Pop mentality this season. So
Yeah.
don't I expect the Spurs to call Uncle Dennis and ask him, what's up with Kawhi? Because think about it, Golden State's gonna implode this year. They're not gonna have everybody back after this season. I think Kevin Durant leaves. I think Klay Thompson probably boogies out. And even at that, I'm not sure if even Draymond is on the team next year. Obviously, we saw Steve Kerr make that comment. If you can read lips, he said, "I'm so tired of Draymond shit."
Yeah.
So, Denver's a young team. Houston is apparently good. I don't see it, but apparently they are. Portland's a young team. Oklahoma City is garbage because all they have is Paul George.
What are
Russell
you talking
Westbrook,
about, Rudy? Garbage.
dude, Russell Westbrook. The only way Russell Westbrook can make it on a highlight film now is by, talking shit to a little kid or crying because somebody is talking shit to him from the fans. That's
No,
all the
no, that,
only
that
time he
had nothing
can
to do with it,
pop.
Rudy. Come on.
What is it?
Well,
Two for 16 the other night shooting the ball?
well,
I
Rudy. I
mean,
mean, players have had bad shooting nights, and he's had bad shooting nights for his career. But I think Paul George coming in there has really balanced the team out. I think they're a team to be reckoned with, and I think they're not going to be a team that's just going to lie down, especially if they play a team like Houston in the first round, or if they play, the Warriors in the second round. I think they could be a formidable foe. Now, I'm not saying they're going to get to the finals, but to call them trash, Rudy, I think that's a little.
I don't.
It's a
I mean,
little.
I don't buy the fact that they are that good of a team. Honestly, I really don't. I mean, I like Paul George. I like Steven Adams. If you're going to get the kind of performances that Russell Westbrook have been giving you, that's garbage, in my opinion. Like, really, really garbage, man. You still have teams like Utah and Clippers. They're not going to go anywhere. I think the Spurs, if they keep playing this style of basketball and they keep winning, they can essentially get up to that number four position. I'm not sure if that's the way you think and all stuff, too. about them getting up to the number 4 position. But again, the West I think is still kind of wide open. I'm not really truly afraid of Golden State. We'll see what happens when the Spurs play Golden State this week. We'll really get a feel for how they do this week for sure. But speaking of this week does start March Madness, and being a Carolina fan, a diehard Carolina fan, we do get a number 1 seed. You being a Duke fan, you get the number 1 overall seed.
Woo.
And yeah, before we get into some March Madness talk, we're gonna try to put on a March Madness tournament for everybody. If you join, we'll definitely give away a cash prize. That's a guarantee on my part. But I think if I was to look at the brackets, I have no problem anywhere with the brackets. I think the committee got it right. I I'm really excited about this week, and I just want to talk about one thing here, and that's Zion Williamson. Zion Williamson. Now, I get that he's dominant. I had a talk with a buddy of mine this past week, and it's kind of like I told you. Best case scenario, he's Karl Malone, which when I told him that, he said that I was stupid. And I said, worst case scenario, I really thought about it, and I think overall I need to change it. Worst case scenario has to be Larry Johnson. After looking at him play again, Larry Johnson has to be the worst case scenario for Zion Williamson. So,
Larry Johnson did have, his first years in the league was fairly good, but then those knees started to really crumble, and then it really hampered his career.
yeah, that's true. And I just think Zion, because see, I even told him the guy is huge. He's gonna be leaping out of the building. He's got so much explosion. I feel that because of the weight, which again, I was told I'm an idiot because he's not fat. He's all muscle. I don't give a shit if you're all fat or if you're all muscle. When you have that kind of explosion, your knees are gonna give out really, really fast. Really fast. I mean, there is
Yeah, no, I
no
mean,
way.
his
Yeah, I mean, there's no way.
explosiveness is pretty legit. And when you move up and down with that weight, I'm a little worried. I think he needs to slim down a little bit, just because, for a big guy, and muscle or fat or not, man, that's a lot of weight on your knees on a guy who's still what is like 19 years old or something like that. I mean, he's young, so
And he was telling me he's LeBron James. Well, look at his explosiveness when he came out. So, but he wasn't this big.
yeah. LeBron wasn't actually; he was pretty thin
Yeah,
coming in,
he was.
and then he bulked up in Miami a lot. But no,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, Zion needs to lose the weight, man, because I just find it hard to believe that in an 82 regular seasons, I mean, games in a season, he can hold up.
Yeah, I don't think, and that was the other thing was I told him, I said, I doubt seriously that Zion holds up in an 82 game season. There's no way, man. If he keeps up with that kind of explosion and he's trying to, throw the ball down with authority every single time, oh man, he plays for Duke. I know he does. I hate that school with a passion,
Of course you do.
but but give me the benefit of the doubt here. He he's looking at like a 9-year NBA career before he gets that major ACL tear or something. He needs to play smarter and not the way he's playing now. He needs to develop that 18 to 19-foot jumper. Use the explosiveness when you have to, but you don't have to. In the NBA, you don't have to be explosive. It's good for a little while. Sean Kemp can attest to that. It's good for a little while. But if you want to have a nice long NBA career and you want to be one of the best, you have to play at a normal pace. You got to play at your pace. And I know he's explosive. I know he wants to dunk the ball. I know all of that. But in the NBA, the guys are bigger. They don't really give a shit because they're being paid a lot of money. So if you get injured, F it, you get injured. You're going to see Twitter blow up. LeBron James, oh, prayers for Zion. Adam, prayers for Zion. Kyrie, prayers for Zion, whatever. But in the back of their mind, they're thinking, good thing because I don't have to put up with this guy. I don't have to deal with this dude. That's every NBA player's mentality.
Yeah, he's very athletic, and he reminds me a little bit of Blake Griffin. He came in the league, he's dunking all the time, high flying, But Blake has changed his game because he's figured out, listen, you can't keep up that athleticism for a long time. You're going to have to have a game for yourself. Have that jump shot because once the dunks and the high flying, once that leaves, that's it, man. And that's a short NBA career. So I'm
Yeah.
sure hopefully he gets with a team that can really help his jump shot, really get him to grow because he's not going to be able to just use his high flying for a long time. It may work for a few years, but after that, the NBA has proven you're not going to last in this league.
Yeah, you're not. You're not. And that's where I think he needs to really be smart about his NBA career. I hope he really does have a good NBA career because if you look at former Duke players, they really haven't had great NBA careers. Let's be honest. They are all Duke is all hype and no bite when they get
Well,
into
I
the
mean,
NBA.
listen,
Come on. You can't
obviously
you
some of their
cannot say
players have not panned out. I mean, Grant Hill did have some really bad injuries, but he was on his way to becoming a really, really good player in the league. Elton Brand was a decent player in the NBA. I think he made a few All Star teams. Kyrie Irving has played, he's done
yeah.
very well.
I think Kyrie is the best Duke player to come out. Period.
Yeah. Though Jason Williams, man, really, really good, but he got into that car accident.
Yeah.
That really ended his career. Christian Laettner was an okay NBA player.
Leitner sucked bad. Leitner was an all college player.
Yeah, and then Bobby Hurley had some injuries.
Well, Bobby Hurley had that crash.
Yeah, I'm saying. So there's been some players with some bad injuries that really,
I just don't think Bobby Hurley would have made it in the NBA. I don't know. I don't think he ever would have made it in the NBA. The only player outside of Kyrie Irving who I can look back on is Grant Hill. For granted, obviously I'm saying granted. Grant Hill would have been a really good NBA player. Would they have been the GOAT? Hell no, because the GOAT came out of the big old ball sack that is North Carolina. So North Carolina could, and this is the last segment of the night. You being a Duke fan, me being a Carolina fan, it is March Madness. You cannot put your best 5 players out on the court, former Duke players, and say they would beat Carolina's best 5. There is no
Carolina's had the better NBA pros. I mean, obviously they've had James Worthy, they've had Rasheed Wallace, they have Jerry Stackhouse. I mean, they've had some really good, very good players to come out.
Yeah.
So I mean, Duke's best top 5, obviously Grant Hill. At point guards, it's a little bit different. Well, that's probably Kyrie at point, though he's also a shooting guard as well.
Yeah.
Christian Laettner. I mean,
you throw a Zion Williamson in there.
Probably over Elton Brand.
Wow.
Because those are probably the 2 bigs that, or you can, hell yeah, because Sheldon Williams is not fucking block.
The only good thing that Sheldon Williams ever did was bang Candace Parker.
Well, then he divorced her too, which didn't make any sense.
That's the stupid thing, but he's got a kid with her, so he can see her for 18 years.
Yeah, but
I would say that if I had to go with Duke's top 5, you're giving me Kyrie Irving at the 1, Redick at the 2, Hill at the 3, Williamson at the 4, and Laettner at the 5. This is all based off college career.
Yeah. So, this isn't the NBA career. This is just
no. This is straight up college. And I'm thinking for Carolina, I mean, point guard, you can go any way, but I don't know, man, because point guard situation, man, it's tough for me. I would almost have to say maybe a Raymond Felton at point, just the way he ran the team during that title run. 2 guard is obviously MJ. The 3, give me the. See, this is where it gets tough because I can go either Vince Carter or I can go Jerry Stackhouse. Out of the 2, Stackhouse probably had the more developed game out of the 2 when they were in college. So we're going with Felton. We're going with Jordan. We're going with Stackhouse. My big man, I have to take Brad Daugherty. There's no way. And at the 4, I've got to take Big Game James. So those 5 on paper, my weakness is going to be the point guard spot. But I can move Felton over to Redick, and he can try to guard him. Jordan will shut down Kyrie, so I'm not really worried about that. Yeah, give me North Carolina winning
So
112
college
to like
Jordan
20.
would shut down Kyrie?
I think so. Yeah, Jordan is one of the best defenders in the NBA.
Whoa. Remember that this is college, Robert. This is the college.
You're right. This is college. So
this is the
okay,
college.
well, if we're talking college, then okay, I would still take Jordan. I would still put him on Kyrie.
Yeah, but I mean to say to shut him down, I think that's
it would be a hell of a scoring matchup. College Jordan, prime college Jordan and prime college Kyrie, even though he was there for a year. That would be a hell of a matchup, a one-on-one matchup. I would pay to see that kind of matchup for sure.
Yeah, and I think Carolina would probably win, but I think Duke, Grant Hill is a very good player in college. I think Duke will hold their own.
Possibly, but I still got Carolina winning 122 to 27. I think that's what I think. So yeah, with that being said, we've got March Madness coming up. I'll try to get that bracket going before the start of the games here. And we talked basketball. We talked Kawhi Leonard. We've got a lot more to talk about, which we're going to save for the next show. We had a bunch of not NBA, NFL trades, and movings going on. So
oh yeah,
definitely got to get into that NFL talk. We'll probably put up a part 2 of this episode, just nothing but NFL talk. So for right now, this is the NBA talk. This is March Madness. Gio, let everybody know where they can find you, because I am sure that everybody is looking for you, because I've got something on my end over here that I'm going to share before we let everybody out.
Well, you're a pretty freaky guy, so you always have some type of
no. And we'll get to Tales of the Sunshine State on the next episode here. So, but yeah, go to give them where they can reach you at.
We reach me at Coach Gio56 on Twitter. I've been tweeting a lot more, and also you can also catch me on the Radar Sportscast, and also on any of the shows on the Two Shots Network. Besides baseball, I'm not the biggest baseball person, but you can catch me on the shows.
Cool, man. Cool. And yeah, I'm Rudy Campos Jr., the Radar Sports star. I don't consider myself the host. I consider myself a co-host with Gio on the Radar Sportscast. This is our show. And Gio, I want to congratulate you, because you've got a retweet of our last episode from Bertha Ellington at Bertha ELLINGT13.
Well,
I'm reading it out.
Yeah.
The very first thing that's on her Twitter page is a pinned tweet that says, "I love you, sugar. Check out my bio." Obviously, this chick is a bot. Obviously, she's about porn and all that stuff. The top of her headline says, "I want to fuck. Click on the link." So I'm just glad that Bertha is pretending to listen to the Rated R Sportscast. So Bertha, if you are listening, we are noticing that you are retweeting the Rated R Sportscast. And it's funny because it wasn't my Cochino end. It was Gino's Cochino side that she retweeted Gio's, listen to the Rated R Sportscast. So
what's strange about that, Rudy, is I didn't see that right away. I was off Twitter for a few days, and I went in and I saw, and I'm like, who is this person? And I click and I started looking, and it's talking about, hey, Big Daddy, and all. She's posting up a bunch of porn bot shit, whatever the hell it is. And it's just really interesting to see how the hell, she came across, because I don't watch any porn on Twitter, contrary to the belief that you may think, but I do not.
Everybody watches porn
on Twitter. So I'm just very confused on how that even happened. But hey, at least we're reaching a different type of audience, Rudy.
Exactly. We're reaching the audience we want to reach, because porn stars get a lot of followers, but she hasn't really gotten too many followers. But hey, she did retweet, so we appreciate you if you do listen to it. Great. You might be a big old fat guy, butt naked in a chair, just pretending to be Bertha Ellington. It doesn't matter. You listen and you retweeted. I love it. So Bertha Ellington, whoever you are, thank you very, very much. Like I said, I am the Rated R Sports Star, Rudy Campos Jr. This is the Rated R Sportscast. You can find me at rated_R podcast, and the Twitter page is the Rated R Sportscast. Again, as always, we are a part of the Two Shots Network that is ran by the boss, Joe Garcia. We appreciate everything that he does. Also, you can find Painting Corners podcast with Austin Hartsfield on the network, as well as the guys from Live at the 815, Colton St. Vincent and the guys. They have a ton of fun. They do something that I like that I would love to have thought of, and that's the MySpace Top 8. So be sure to check them out. So for this episode, the Radar Sportscast, I'm Rudy Campos Jr. for Giovanni, Coach Gio, the Rambassador. We will see y'all next time. Later, guys.